Now, would you be honest with me? When was that last time you truly, out of your generous heart, on your own, you showed your spouse true love? Not out of the normal routine, but intentionally. Not just this, this lazy good morning or good morning message, or that quick I love you before bed, or love you when you're leaving the person, but something that made them really feel deeply seen, deeply appreciated from your heart. Well, if you're struggling every day to remember to do that, don't worry, you're not alone. Sometimes it happens. But today we are talking about how to break out from that autopilot mode and make love a daily decision. Love is not just a feeling. It's a daily decision. It's a decision you make every second, every minute. And even in the busyness of life happens. That decision often gets buried under work, kids, bills, exhaustion. But what if I told you that one small shift in your mindset could reignite the spark in your marriage or in your relationship? Many people think love just happens. It's magical once you just get married. You just find yourself loving your spouse. Like it's like that in the beginning. Well, it happens in the beginning, but over time, life gets in the way. Life happens. Things happen. Life just happens. Can you remember the early days of your relationship, or when you were dating your spouse, if you're married? You couldn't wait to see each other, right? Because you just see this person and something just tingling. You send sweet messages, you make time for dates, going out, go to clubs, go for outings. But as time passes, routine kicks in and love starts feeling like an afterthought, like a big deal. Now, here's the truth. Love is not just something we fall into and out of. It's a choice we make every single day. I'll call it every single second, every single time you decide or not to stay in love or out of it. Now, what does intentional love really look like? Being intentional in loving your spouse really means making that conscious effort, that deliberate decision to show love to the person, even when you don't feel like it, even when the person doesn't deserve it. Small acts can make a big difference, a huge difference. Sending a simple text during your busy work day, I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for you, or giving your spouse that very full attention during conversations, planning small surprises like just getting them a gift or their favorite snack or their favorite meal out of the blues. For example, I know a couple who started every morning writing a love note. They made it a tradition. Every day, they will write one short note to each other. Sometimes it could be deep, sometimes it could be silly, but it keeps the connection alive. It works for them. Now, what works for you? Have you found that routine or that act of kindness that works for you? Now, how do you start to be more intentional? Now, I'm going to give a challenge for the next few days of the month. I'm shooting this video in February. I'm going to come up with one challenge per video on how you can be intentional in loving your spouse. So for this week, can you go about complimenting your spouse on something specific? It could be giving a 20-second hug, or, science proves that boosts connection. As simple as a hug is, it boosts connection. Or do something kind to them without expecting anything in return. For example, one of my friends once said that, they started 3 hugs a day rule, a rule for 3 hugs a day. And no matter how busy or tired they are, they'll make sure to hug their spouse in the morning, before going to work, and after work, and before bed. 3 hugs a day. It's a rule. It works for them. That small habit has transformed their marriage over time because they've gotten to a level right now that they don't even have to think about it. It's now unconscious, but it keeps them together. Now, here's the challenge. Find one thing to compliment about your spouse this week and send them a message or tell them, I love this about you. Love doesn't thrive on autopilot. It doesn't just happen. It grows when you nurture it, and even in small ways. So today, I'm urging you to take one step, one intentional act of love. And if you are in, send me a message or put it on the comments and say, I'm in, or challenge accepted. What's one thing you would do for your spouse today? Now, throughout this month, I'm shooting this video in February. If you're watching it, I'm going to be coming up with a challenge per video. I'll try to make it daily. I don't know how that's going to work. Pray for me or send me a message or put me a comment to encourage me. I'll be giving a challenge per video. I can call it, maybe I'll call it love and connection challenge, or I don't have to call it anything, but it will be a challenge per video on how or practical or something you're going to do practically to show love to your spouse. Sorry, singles, but it's actually for those in a relationship or those married. So I'm going to be coming up with a challenge per video on something you can do practically. And the challenge for today is find something specific to appreciate in your spouse. Send them a message, or if you're in the same space, and say, honey, sweetie, or whatever you call your spouse, I love this about you. There is something good in somebody. There is always something good. So I don't care if you're not in a talking zone. It might be a good time to end that quarrel, or if you're having a dispute. Thank you for doing this. Or I like this about you. And don't expect anything in return. Don't expect anything in return. Don't expect a thank you. Or, don't expect anything in return. Find something to compliment about your spouse. If you're accepting the challenge, send me a message. Put it on the comments. Challenge accepted. And if you watch this video to this time, it means that you're very intentional and you love your marriage, or you like working on your relationship. I'll tell you to watch this other video, and I'll see you on that one on the next challenge.